Alright, folks, it is here. It happened. I got my hands on Big Shiny Tunes. Now, you're watching this as the first Big Shiny Tunes review, and you're all like, what do you mean you finally got your hands on it? Okay, so, I'm going to let you know a little secret. When you go forward from here watching all the Big Shiny Tunes reviews, they're all recorded out of order. And I started recording these reviews back in February or March when I first started getting my hands on the albums. It took a while to get my hands on the first 9 albums. Whether or not I get my hands on the rest of them before we get to the end of these reviews, that is another story. But we're here to talk about the first one today, the original Big Shiny Tunes, released by Much Music. So this is basically what a year in music would be like for us Canadian citizens. That being said, though, this is actually more than a year in music. This album was released in 1996. There are songs that go back. There is one song that goes back as far as 1994 on here. And otherwise, every other song is either 95 or 96. So here we go. First song on the album, One More Astronaut from I'm Mother Earth. I'm Mother Earth, the review has not gone live as of yet, but the only other album I have so far reviewed that's even remotely connected to I'm Mother Earth is the Victor album, because of the vocalist Edwin, who happens to be the vocalist of I'm Mother Earth at this time. I never got into I'm Mother Earth, and it's because of songs like One More Astronaut. It wasn't a bad song, but it really doesn't do anything for me. That's a phrase you're going to hear a lot. Alright, then we got Machine Head from Bush X, because this is Canada. I've covered this when I talked about Machine Head on the 16 Stone album. Go check the review out for that for more details there. Tahitian Moon, Porno for Pyros. I have tried with Porno for Pyros a ton, and no, not doing anything for me. Queer from Garbage. I actually like Garbage. I always found Shirley Manson's voice pretty cool. I liked her voice. Queer's a decent enough tune, you know. I don't know if I'll ever get around to doing any Garbage reviews, just because I don't own any Garbage, and I don't know if I will own any Garbage along the time period. But it could happen one of these days. See, then we got Sweet Dreams from Marilyn Manson. I am pretty sure I've covered the Smells Like Children album, so feel free to go and get my thoughts and views on it from there. Scooby Snacks from Fun Lovin' Criminals. I like the music. It's pretty decent. The rest of it's pretty garbage. No Doubt, Just a Girl. I hate No Doubt. I absolutely loathe No Doubt. And Just a Girl is one of the many reasons why I loathe No Doubt. Then we got Chili Peppers, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Aeroplane. Well, I'm not a huge Peppers fan, and I'm not, I don't mind the song Aeroplane. It's a good fun tune, man. Is my aeroplane. But it's not a song I'm overly fond of or overly into. The Good in Everyone from Sloan. I never got into Sloan. Never did anything for me. Better Than Ezra, King of New Orleans. Meh. Limb Lifter, Tinfoil. Alright, whatever. Foo Fighters, Alone and Easy Target. There's some songs I like from the Foo Fighters, but I definitely prefer, after their second or third album. I'm not a big fan of the first album, Foo Fighters, or the first couple albums of the Foo Fighters. Just don't do anything for me. And then we got Moist, Ophelia. Meh. Radiohead, Just. I don't like Radiohead. I've tried, but I don't like Radiohead. Then we got Poe doing Angry Johnny. This was an intriguing song to discover on this album. I actually enjoyed this one. Just because it was something a little bit different. Then you got the Killjoys, Raven Drool. Doesn't do much for me. Pluto doing Paste, once again, not much for me. And then you got Beck doing Novocaine, and it closes off the album okay if you're a Beck fan. So there's a reason I didn't get into the whole Big Shiny Tunes releases when they first started coming out. And that's due to the fact that when they first started coming out, they were really heavy on the alternative. And that's kind of when the whole music industry was at that time. 96, alternative basically ruled the airwaves. And it's one of the reasons I stopped watching much music for a while. And it's one of the reasons I stopped paying attention even to the radio for a while, stuff like that. But this gives a really good glimpse into what 1996 was honestly like for me, music-wise. And all of it was, whatever, you know. But even in the world, like, I've covered a lot of albums from 96 recently. And, you know, like, you got Ozzy Osbourne's Perry Mason came out that year. Black Sabbath released their Forbidden album that year, which is considered one of their absolute worst albums. 96, so you're looking at what? Metallica doing Load? Or were we on Reload at that point? No, I think we were on Load at that point. There's other things that go with that, you know, like, it just, 96 was not a good year for music, you know, and it's really cool that much music really kind of got out there and really started pushing music. And the nice part about this was the way they got to slip in Canadian bands in here. And there wasn't just Canadian bands in here, you got your US bands, you got your British bands, you know, like, you got a nice little mix in here. The whole way around, would I recommend this to anybody? If you want to know what alternative music was like in 1996, this is the album to look for. If you're a hard rock guy like me, yeah, I got a few years before the Big Shiny Tunes get good, which you'll discover as we go through here. The whole way around, I'm glad I found the album. I'm glad I've got it to help complete out the set. But it's not one I'm going to listen to often, I can tell you that. This is more of a collector as a Canadian thing for me. Anyways, that's kind of where I'm going to leave this one here. Let me know what you think, man. Drop me a line down below. Which of these bands am I not giving fair credit to? I know there's a few I'm not. Which ones should I go check out, and what album should I go check out from them? That is the question. That's the beauty of samplers like this, is trying to find out what you want. And, you know, the one thing I will mention in other albums as we come along is they do this great little bit here where they put all the albums in it with all the details and stuff like that, the year of release, etc., etc. And that makes it easier to help you go find the actual albums to buy them for yourselves. Other than that, folks, that's it. I'm going to leave this here. Catch you on the next Big Shiny Tunes review. Until then, peace, love, take care. Oh, there's a couple links down below. Check those out too. Thanks.